Hi lovely and darling viewers, it's Jen here at Check Her Joy, and this time I'm doing a top 10 list, specifically the top 10 books on my shelves that have summer covers. So these are books that I think look summery, whether or not they take place on summer or not. And these are based on the editions that I own, so if you own or have seen other editions, they may not fit this category, or they might look different, basically. So the first book I picked was Sway by Cat Spears. This is a young adult retelling of Cyrano de Bergerac. So in this book, the main character, Jessie, is trying to woo this girl, Bridget, for the head of the football team, who is kind of a jerk. And in the process, ends up falling in love with her himself. I picked this book because of this gorgeous sun in the corner and just the silhouette of the two people on the bench. It just seems like a very summery scene. I love the sun. That's basically why I picked it. So the next book on my list is Suffer Love by Ashley Herring Blake. This one follows Hadley, who decides not to trust men anymore after she finds out her dad has been cheating on her mother. And then she meets Sam, and Sam is like the only person who gets what she's going through, except Sam is the son of the woman Hadley's father was cheating with. And Sam doesn't know how to tell her that. So I've already read this book and I loved it. I will post the link to the full review down below. But I picked this book because of all these blue dots on the cover that looks kind of like stars or fireflies or something. And like these silhouettes down here totally screams like a summer romance happening. Then I have Firefly Lane by Kristin Hannah. This one is an adult novel that it follows two girls who become best friends forever, and then it follows them over the course of several decades as they grow up. And I picked this book because of all the fireflies and the jar for catching fireflies, and it screams summer evening, just hanging out in the front yard. Then I picked Paper Towns by John Green. This is a young adult novel that follows Q as he tries to discover all these clues that Margot has left when she vanished. This particular cover I love because of the map and like the pin sticking in it, and just reminds me of road trips and going on vacation and trying to get the maps out and figure out where you would want to go on vacation, and that's why I picked this. I love this cover a lot. The next book on my list is called Tangerines by Shauna Niequist. This is a collection of Christian stories about God and life and being aware of God in moments and stuff. Honestly, I've only read the first couple of stories in this book, and it's been a while. Mainly, I picked it because of this tangerine on the cover that just looks super appetizing with the water on it, and we don't really grow tangerines here in Cleveland, but the idea of eating fresh fruit in the summer just seems like a thing. It just looks appetizing. So next on my list is Bison Men by John Steinbeck. This is a classic novella. It follows George and Lenny, who are farmhands in California, and Lenny is slow. He's got a much less developed mind of a young child, this book describes, and kind of what George trying to get Lenny out of trouble. I really love this image on the cover with them just looking out at the lake, and it looks very summery, and like you should go spend time outside, basically. Next up, I have Anna Green Gables by L.M. Montgomery. This is a children's novel that follows Anne Shirley as she is adopted by Matthew and Marilla Cuthbert, and Anne's adventures in her new home on Prince Edward's Island in the late 1800s, early 1900s, somewhere in there. Green Gables just looks super inviting, and it looks summery in this picture, so that's why I picked it. The next book on my list is Far from the Maddening Crowd by Thomas Hardy. Actually, I haven't read this book. Apparently, it follows Gabriel Oak, who falls in love with Bathsheba, and they have encounters, but she ends up marrying other people. And yeah, I haven't read it. But it's a classic novel, and Thomas Hardy wrote Tess of the D'Urbervilles, which is a good movie, even if I haven't read that book either. Okay. So I picked this book because of the cover and this scene of the mountains and like the ocean or whatever beach that is. And just looks super inviting and summery. Like you would go chill on this beach and it would be a nice break from the heat. Also, I picked Beautiful Ruins by Jess Walter. This is an adult novel. It follows an Italian innkeeper who meets this American movie star and kind of looks back on the experiences that happened to get the American movie star to this island. I think. I haven't actually read this book yet. I'm not going to lie about this book because of this cover, and it's gorgeous, and eventually I will read it. Probably. But I love this Italian coastal town in the Mediterranean Sea, and it just looks gorgeous. So that is why I picked it for a summer read. If I could afford to take an expensive vacation, that definitely looks like one of the places I'd be trying to hit. And the last book I have is 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea by Jules Verne. This is a classic science fiction novel, and it so in this book there have been all these ships sinking, and they think that there is some monster under there, like a kraken or a giant squid. And so this one ship goes to investigate. It's actually this really advanced submarine, and the captain of that ship, Nemo, is this awful villainous character. I picked this because of the underwater scene, and it looks like it would be good for swimming if you swam, which I don't, but it looks like it would be a nice break from the heat of summer. So that's why I picked this novel. So those are the top 10 books off my shelves that I think look summery. Let me know in the comments below if you have read any of these books and you liked them or hated them, or what books would you pick for summery covers? Do you think any of these don't count as summery? Just, feedback's good, basically. Yeah. So, peace out. I love you guys, and keep reading. Bye.